everybody to episode 112 of the internet sensation known as Triple Threat Talk. It's a pleasure to be back with you folks. I am PostMaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with my esteemed co-host and pal, Big B, Brandon DeMuro. Unfortunately, the doc will not be with us tonight, so you're welcome. So, Big B, it's good to be back. Fortunately, I had to be off last week for unfortunate events. Things that happen in life, it's like taxes. It's guaranteed, you know, so
now, last 2 weeks, we've gone from Triple Threat Talk to Tag Team Talk. So.
Yeah, I think last week, before I left, the doc wasn't here. I believe it was the week before. Yeah, then last week I wasn't here. Now this week the doc isn't here. It's like we're rotating. But you know what? You're always here. You're like the old staple. You're the guaranteed money. We can always count on Big B. That's for sure. So with that, Big B, let's start off with something we do know about, and that is user questions. And the first one comes from our good friend, the Buckin' Five. He wants to know, how do you feel about Darren Young coming out of the closet?
First of all, it was weird the way it happened. He was approached in an airport by a TMZ reporter, and the reporter asked him, you know, how do you feel about, you know, gay people in wrestling? He point blank said, you know, I'm happy, I'm gay, and you know, the guy was kind of floored by it, but you know, and then this huge whirlwind of coverage for Darren Young started. I mean, it was TMZ, obviously that was the first thing they showed, and then it was, you know, WWE commented on it, and obviously they were very supportive. And then he got, you know, shoved here, he shoved there. He got, you know, he was on the Today Show talking about it. He was on a bunch of shows talking about it because he is the first ever in the history of professional wrestling to come out and you know, and then he's homosexual. You know, for him, I think it's great because, you know, that's who he is. He has no reason to hide anything. If that's who he is and he's proud of it, more power to him. And then I'll even go further and say I was very proud of the crowd in on Raw when he came out with Titus Young for their tag match, and he got a great response, and he won the match with Titus O'Neil. He got the win, and I'm glad to see the crowd really. It was a really loud reaction. A huge, like they call it in wrestling, they call it a pop. He got a huge pop. And when he came out and when he won, so it's great to see for that. And you know, I think it's good for him that he made this decision because it's something that he, you know, obviously wanted people to know, and now everyone knows it, and you know, he's a better person for it.
I totally agree. I mean, I think it was great that he had the courage to come out and announce that he was homosexual. I think it's, you know, it took you know, for him to just say it because some people are afraid to admit stuff like that,
especially in the company he's in.
Yeah, that plus, you know, he is a public figure. I mean, he's not a top wrestler by no means, but he's used quite a bit. He's known. A lot of people in the wrestling world and the people that watch wrestling know who he is. So it's good for him, and it's great for the wrestling as a whole as well. Yeah. Maybe it will open up the door for others to open up if there is anymore. Right. Also for the Buckin' Five, which title do you think has more importance and prestige? The world title or the WWE title?
And the world title, the one that's on currently Alberto Del Rio, the one that's on SmackDown, that goes back a ways. Yeah. That goes back WCW and NWA days. That goes way back. Way back. That has a lot of prestige and a lot of history to it, but WWE has a lot of... The thing is, you know, what is this WWE Championship? What is it? Does it go back as far as when Cena won the spinning belt, or does it go back before that? Is it Jericho winning the Undisputed title? Is that the first WWE Championship? Or is it, you know, there's so many iterations of it, where how far do you go back for it?
Well, I mean, you could say, even though it was WWF, that, you know...
Winged Eagle?
You could say Stone Cold, you could say Hogan, you could say Bruno Sammartino, you could say... I mean, it goes...
I mean, each title has its own huge history, but I mean, if I had to pick one, I would probably say the world title, just because it was in so many different companies. It's obviously in currently WWE, it was in WCW, it was in NW, it was in a bunch of different companies. We had a lot of greats, you know, able to wear that belt. The WWE title, it is great, but it has just the one company it has people from. The other one has, you know, a lot more experience.
I agree with you. I think the world title is more prestigious just because of like being in the NWA and WCW and now WWE. Although in WWE, it's portrayed more as the lower end title because it's on SmackDown.
Right. But it's been on Raw before.
Yeah.
There's been times where the world title's on. And they might change, they might do that again. I don't see it anytime soon, but they might do it again.
Right.
Who knows? I can only imagine when that happens. It's time to shake things up. That needs to. That's probably coming soon.
The draft.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
A long while.
So.
All right, and finally from the Bucket 5, do you think that WWE is just repeating the corporate champion angle with Orton?
Yes and no. I mean, yeah, it seems like Orton is the company's, the corporate's choice for champion because of what happened at Summerslam. We'll get to that later on. I'm sure everyone knows that watches that knows what happened at SummerSlam. But the corporate champion thing with The Rock, that was a little bit different. It seemed it was more of a thing where the company, the corporation. It seemed more of a corporate decision to make The Rock champion. It didn't seem like that at SummerSlam. It seemed like Triple H's decision, and it didn't seem like in terms of, the whole corporation, McMahon, Shane, Stephanie, the whole company getting behind him and embracing him. And again, yeah, it sounds like I'm saying the same thing, but it didn't seem like Orton is embracing the corporation like The Rock did. The Rock was like, I'm the corporate champion. Orton's just like, I appreciate the help, but he's not. I don't think he's like, the corporate champion.
Right, I agree. Yeah, I think it's a little bit different on this side. Yeah, he had help from Triple H, and I'm guessing Stephanie and Vince were involved,
somewhat
in some ways, but I don't see it as a corporate champion like The Rock to that extent.
Right.
And you don't know where they're going past this. You want to have to tune in to Raw in the next several weeks to see where the storyline goes, but it's definitely interesting and it made for a good ending to SummerSlam. And from Against All Odds 20, do you think that ROH will ever be able to get on national TV all around and not just a few channels?
I mean, it's possible because, for the longest time ROH was just on the internet. You could watch it on the internet and you could buy the pay-per-views through the internet. And then they got the syndication deal. For a few stations in various states around the country. We get it, but not in this area. I think Lexington gets it. Mm-hmm. So it's possible. Mm-hmm. It'll be tough because, what network would pick them up. Maybe Spike if TNA doesn't work out. That could be a possibility because I don't think... I am no media or TV expert by any means, but I can guarantee Spike's not happy with the ratings that TNA consistently gets. I highly doubt it. Anyone in an executive position at a major TV studio cannot be happy with the ratings that TNA gives Spike TV on a weekly basis. So, I think ROH is going to continue to do what they do. Obviously in the markets they have is great, and people are going to continue to watch and promote it. ROH has always been in the internet, wrestling promotion people like watch and talk about. It's not a far stretch for them to eventually get some TV studio to say, hey, look at this company, they do a lot of really great wrestling. We'll see if we can give them a deal, see how they go. The only thing that would kind of hinder them in terms of getting a TV deal, because I don't watch ROH as much as I watch WWE, but from what I know, I don't think ROH does really a lot of storyline stuff like that. They don't do a lot of backstage segments. They don't do a lot of, heavy storyline based stuff. I could be wrong. I just don't think they do that. I know they do some, but I don't think it's as heavy as some other promotions do. That might kind of hurt them getting a TV deal because, it's like, yeah, people... They would watch 2 hours for wrestling, but sometimes in this day and age, it doesn't cut it anymore. You have to have a lot of entertainment and drama, and that's probably what ROH have to do to get a TV deal, do more stuff like that. But it's not a far stretch. They could possibly do it.
I can see it. It's very possible. I think ROH has better talent than TNA does to an extent. You look at the talent that has come from ROH, the likes of Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. And Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. There's been a lot of people in ROH.
I'm in ROH, apparently.
Yeah, apparently Kevin Steen. Yeah. So it's a very good proving ground, and I think for a lot of people who like pro wrestling in general, and they want something other than WWE or TNA, which is I don't know what it is, but
not good.
ROH would be a good breath of fresh air for wrestling fans out there. And
again, we would watch it if it were on, but
I would watch ROH if it was on. It's not easy to get to. It's not easy to locate. Yeah. So that wraps up user questions this week. We want to thank everybody for your questions, comments, quandaries, queries, and criticisms. And with that, we want to anoint this week's viewer of the week. And I guess since we had a lot of discussion involving the TNA. Not TNA, the world title and the WWE title, the Darren Young situation, And repeating of the corporate champion, I guess, Buck in 5.
Yet again.
You're this week's episode 112, Viewer of the Week. And since the Doc's here, we'll roll right along the headlines.
The Doc's not here.
Yeah.
You said the Doc's here.
Oh, since the Doc isn't here, my apologies.
He's not Manny Santeo's girlfriend. He's not invisible.
Yeah. Well, he could be.
Might be bad.
That's an awful big invisibility, I'll say that.
Unless that hat's not shown.
Yeah, thank goodness, right? Anyway. The hat. So let's
go head first into the headlines.
Head first into headlines. I like it. Stephen Rhodes. You got to be asking yourself, who's Stephen Rhodes? Well, this gentleman just finished a 5-year enlistment with the United States Marines. Is enrolled at Middle Tennessee State University. He wanted to play football, and the NCAA said no. And the reason why they said no, when they looked into the eligibility requirements, they looked into the eligibility situation, the reason why they were telling him he couldn't is because he played intramural football for the Marines.
Right. Yeah.
That's all it was intramurals. So there was a big outcry, a big backlash. I heard people on the radio, I saw it on TV, saying, this is ridiculous. This man served our country for 5 years. He put his life on the line. He played a little intramural football. He wants to come back and play college football, and you say no? Yeah. Well, apparently the NCAA does have reasoning, and they do have heart. Mm-hmm. So they have reversed their eligibility ruling, and he is now eligible to play, so he will be playing for Middle Tennessee State.
Definitely, I think a player people are going to keep their eye on because it's the story. So.
Yeah, the storyline alone should get some views for Middle Tennessee State. It'll get people tuned in. Absolutely. So
I don't know. Good they'll do, but
that's good of the NCAA. We know 9 times out of 10 they get it wrong, but in this case they got it.
Well,
right.
They did change the thing with the jerseys too. So.
Yeah, they did. True. Jaromir Jagr announces that this season will be his last.
So his last season's with the Devils.
It's we're not saying it'll be his last in the NHL. He could easily go back to his homeland and play in the KHL, the Russian Federation League, which is very possible.
But he's been around.
He's been around for a long time, since the early to mid '90s.
Penguins.
He was with the Penguins for years. He went to the Capitals,
Went back to the Penguins.
Yeah, so
now he's in the Devils. So.
He's the Rangers. He's been around the block.
He's been around.
But the storied career coming to a close there, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the NHL Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah,
for sure, hands down. Oscar Pistorius.
Remember that name, guys?
He was formerly charged with premeditated murder in the shooting death of his girlfriend. The court date for the Pistorius murder trial is set for March 3rd, 2014.
So we talked about that story, I believe, this past year about him shooting his girlfriend, and it was a story about him, he heard a noise and shot her through the wall, and all this stuff about, he was a Paralympian, obviously lost both legs and stuff like that, so we talked about the story this past year, and now it's come, full circle. He's been charged with this, and his murder trial set for March 3rd. We'll see what happens. See if he goes to jail. See if we'll see what happens. I mean, it's not for a while, so they get some time to probably collect evidence before they start the trial. So.
It seems like with a lot of times with these when you have a highly publicized murder trial, or a lot of murder trials for that matter, even some on the local level that you don't really hear a lot about. Why does it take so gosh darn long for a trial to start?
I think they got to collect evidence.
I mean, that is insane. I mean, we're talking.
I mean, again, if Kendra was here, she'd probably know why it takes so long for a trial to get started. But they probably have to collect evidence, talk to witnesses, get their story, and make sure everything's set for the day. So.
Yeah, for sure. But it's definitely interesting. So, Big B.
Yes.
Apparently, if you intentionally throw a ball at a guy that's suspended but is still playing, you get suspended as well. And we'll talk more about that and get more into headlines right after this. Stay tuned. Triple Threat Talk. Postmaster Jones and Big B here with you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
James, please don't do this.
I just had the best year of my career. I gotta keep things fresh.
Well, then let's just go to Foot Locker. They got all the fresh new gear.
But I have real talent.
Can I get playback?
Okay.
I wear my shirt open so you see my chest, girl. I work so hard into.
Is that me?
And welcome back here on the show, Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with my esteemed co-host Big B, Brandon DeMiro. Before the break, Big B, I teased to the fans, if you hit a suspended player with a baseball who shouldn't be playing to begin with, you're going to get suspended yourself.
Well, there's two things to the story I want to mention. One, again, did Ryan Dempster intentionally throw the ball at him? Probably, yeah. And, and again, I know where he stands on this one, but he shouldn't do that. So with him getting suspended, I can see why it was justified. But again, reading more about this, whatever, he's not really suspended in the first. I mean, he's paying a fine, which he makes millions.
It's an undisclosed fine.
So it's like pulling out $1 in my pocket, and that's pretty much what he's paying fine wise. But in terms of him getting suspended, he's not really suspended. I mean, he's suspended for 5 games. He's not starting in those 5 games, so it's not like he's missing any playing time. I was talking to one of my friends about baseball. They said he should have been suspended 1 start. That's probably more accurate. I think they should have done with that. In terms of the other side with A-Rod, yeah, I agree. He shouldn't be playing because of the suspension, but he has the right to appeal. That's the law. Actually, here's something today on Sports Nation that apparently A-Rod and LB reached some kind of agreement or a deal, whatever, where he wouldn't face a 211 game suspension. He would face 150 if he stops the appeal and just takes it now. So he has the option to keep fighting the appeal. If he keeps fighting, good luck with that, because you might get what you got in the first place.
Right.
If I were A-Rod, I'd take the 150 and run. I mean, again, A-Rod, again, should he be playing? No. But are the Yankees doing better with him? Absolutely. They're hitting better. They're playing better offensively. A-Rod's playing good. Cano's playing good. They're playing really good at this time right now. I mean, they're still far back in the wild card, so I still don't see them making the playoffs because I just think the injuries are going to catch up with them. I think there's a lot of better teams in the AL East, like the Red Sox. I think are better, and I think the Rays are a lot better than them too. But again, they're playing better with him. But again, if I were A-Rod, I would take the 150 and run, because if you keep fighting, as who knows how long. Because if he keeps fighting and he plays the whole season, wouldn't he be suspended for 211 games from that point?
Yes.
So he was suspended
all of next year plus part of 2015.
Yeah, it's like. But again,
I think a lot of it is if this was the Yankees versus the Royals at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon, you wouldn't hear hardly anything about it. But because it's the biggest rivalry in baseball, and it happened in prime time on ESPN, where everybody could see it.
Yep.
It was clear as day. I mean, I agree. I think he was the first. He won't be the last. Mark my word. I think more pitchers will beam him, because that makes what he's doing, and not just him, but what any of these guys, whether it be Miguel Tejada, who just got released and suspended for 105 games, Ryan Braun, or A-Rod, or the others, that makes the pitchers feel terrible. Because here you are serving up these balls, you're pitching to these guys that are doped up, and they're killing your stats because they're juiced. Yeah. So I don't blame Ryan Dempster. I would have done it if I had the opportunity. I think every team should do it. Now, the one thing I'll say I disagree with this situation is, how in the world is Joe Girardi the only one to get ejected in that situation? Now, I agree with the him throwing the ball at him, but he should have been thrown out, because everybody knows
they warned both benches.
Yes. But Girardi was the only one to be thrown out of the game. And A-Rod did get a little bit of justice on Dempster, because he hit a home run and he posed.
Yeah.
He gave him a nice pose after he hit the home run. So, but this A-Rod, I don't know which saga we're going to have to get tired of hearing most this fall. A-Rod or Johnny Manziel. Both of them.
I mean, I'm more tired of hearing about Ryan Braun too. I mean,
yeah, that one. Did you hear the latest?
I'm tired of hearing he's going to apologize again. I'm tired of hearing his apologies. And then I know recently the team took a team photo for the season. He wasn't in it.
Well, the latest thing is apparently the guy that took his sample was anti-Semitic. So Ryan Braun apparently has went woohoo, woohoo, woohoo.
There's a lot of scandals going on in sports for sure.
College football news today. Some schedule changes and realignments for next year. Not this year, next year.
This year's already.
Why does this matter? But this is kind of a big deal. This is kind of along the lines of how they do the basketball challenges. The ACC SEC Football Challenge.
It's next year.
Set to begin in 2014. All 4 of these games will take place in the last weekend of the regular football season. Florida State, which already actually was played as the last game of the year, right? Yeah. South Carolina Clemson, another one that was always played at the last game of the year. Georgia Tech, another one that was also played at the last game of the year. But this one usually is played at the first or the third week of the year.
No, it's the last.
And you're used to wearing shorts and T-shirts. Break out the Parkas, Kentuckiana.
Break out the hoodies.
U of L and UK was also added to this list. So basically you're looking at 4 games, 8 rivalries, all for this ACC SEC football challenge. I don't know if I so much agree with it, because you don't know the storyline and you don't know what could possibly be on the line heading into this last week. Let me give you an example. In these 3 cases we kind of know, but let's just use U of L and UK here. Let's say UK is 8-3 heading into this game.
8-3.
I'm just gonna throw this out here. Okay. Let's say Kentucky is 8-3, and U of L is 11-0. Well, Kentucky knows they're going to a pretty good bowl. They're an SEC team. They're 8-3. If they win, they're going to go to a bigger bowl. If Louisville wins, they're probably going to the national title game. Or, all right, we'll take that into consideration. Or let's do this. Let's say Louisville is 11-0 and Kentucky is 2-9. Kentucky has nothing to play for. What stops them from headhunting and taking out Louisville players? Or vice versa. What stops Louisville, if they're having a bad year, from taking out? This is why I don't like rivalry games this late in the year when it comes to football. I like the concept of what they're doing here. It is a good concept, but I don't know so much if I like the timing of it, just because you don't know what's on the line and what could possibly be on the line to play for headed into that game. And I think that adds too much of an element to one game. That makes this one game huge to me. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Like you said, the 3 of those games were already played at the end of the year anyway, so it's nothing new. U of L UK, it's different because this state's used to seeing U of L UK like the first couple weeks of the season. Now next year it's going to be last. Again, how good U of L? Bridgewater's leaving soon, so it's not like they have much longer. But it's going to be different. U of L UK usually play at the beginning, but now they're going to play at the end. And like you said, there could be a situation where UK as I guess like according to what he said, like UK could be like 5-6. And if they win, they could be 6. They probably make a bowl at 6-6. But U of L could be 11-0. They could be trying to go national. It's a lot of different variables because of the situation the team is in now. At the end, where most likely each team has a bowl opportunity lined up.
Right.
By that time,
most of the time, yes.
More U of L than UK, but at that same time, both teams could be ready to go to a bowl. Obviously, U of L probably going to a bigger bowl than UK would go to, but. It throws a very different element that this state hasn't seen before when it comes to college football.
Now, I did know that this was probably one of the saving graces for this particular game, but because with the new SEC schedule, I think UK had 9 conference games, so there would only be three non-conference games, I think, and they were going to get rid of U of L in the schedule. Because when you play 9 conference games, you got to have 3 home games against Nevada State, Southwest Technical, or you got to have those kind of games.
Southwest Technical.
Oh, I'm just throwing. You know how they
Kentucky School for the Blind.
Well, it might as well be.
Yeah.
They're playing St. X on their own schedule.
St. X.
They might lose.
Trinity.
So interesting college football stuff for Duke. Now we turn it over to our good pal Big B, the Triple Threat Talk tennis guru, and he will discuss a sudden retirement that is kind of a head scratcher.
Plus more, right?
And plus more. Big B, take it away, sir.
All right, so first and foremost, last week I didn't get to go, which kind of bummed me out because there was a match that was played in Cincinnati that I really wanted to see. It was Federer and Nadal. They played again in Cincinnati.
I'm surprised you did not find a way to get to that.
I know. But anyway, so tournament in Cincinnati was last week. Western and Southern Open, great facility. They've really improved over the couple years. Actually,
is that the one that's sits out in front of Kings Island?
Yes.
The real nice, real...
Yes.
Okay.
And the funny you bring that up, actually, my next topic about the tournament director, they've turned into a great facility, by the way. They're actually making a shuttle now that goes from the tennis center to Kings Island.
That's pretty cool. So they're tying in Kings Island with the tennis tournament.
Yes.
So they'll probably sell some kind of package.
They could.
That's cool if you're an amusement park guy and a tennis lover.
Sometimes there's not
like you like. I know you like amusement park.
Sometimes there's things not going on, so you can go in the shuttle and come back.
So you could go stay a couple days, go to the theme park, watch some tennis. It'd be fun time.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, cost you pretty penny. But yeah, so the tournament
and nothing's cheap. You know that. Nothing's cheap.
Not in this day and age. The 70s are over. Gas is not $1 anymore.
No. Well, it did come down 10 cents to.
Yippee.
I know.
Anyway, 10 cents was off, what, $3.80?
10 cents, that's amazing!
So, Western Southern Open ended last weekend. The final was Nadal and Isner, and Nadal takes that one in Cincinnati. He won in 2 tiebreaks, and Nadal went back-to-back. He won the previous week in Toronto, the Rogers Cup, beating countryman Milos Raonic, who's from Canada, and then he beat Isner in Cincinnati. En route, he actually he played Federer. What was that?
I was gonna say that was a really good showing by John Isner.
Yeah, I thought he played well.
He played really good.
Yeah, I thought he played well.
He took Nadal to the limit.
He did.
He didn't win.
No.
I think he even said it's some of the best tennis I've ever played, but I went up against Rafael Nadal. Right. You know, it was kind of like
so he played well, Isner, and I like his chances. I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna win, but I like his chances to make a deep run in the U.S. Open. For that. So, but again, Nadal played Federer again. It was the 31st meeting between the two. Nadal leads that series now 21-10. So I was talking to Alex Johnson, who was actually on the show a while back, and I was telling him I still think Federer is the greatest of all time, but Nadal is probably better than Federer. It's like, you know, it seems like that's just someone he can't figure out anymore. I mean, he's beaten him 21 times out of 31, so it's pretty good odds for Nadal. So.
It's kind of like Peyton Manning with Tom Brady there for a while.
Yeah.
Tom Brady had his number for the longest time.
But yeah, good for Nadal winning that tournament. Other Cincinnati news, on the women's side, Serena Williams actually lost to Victoria Azarenka in the final. Azarenka wins that, so she has a huge confidence boost heading into New York for the U.S. Open. Also on the women's side, a bizarre turn of events. So
a head scratcher.
Marion Bartoli, if you're a tennis fan, you know she won Wimbledon this past June. Huge tournament, biggest one of her life, first Grand Slam ever. Looks like she can win more. She's playing great, good, huge confidence. She retires from injury in Toronto, and then she retires from the game in Cincinnati. It doesn't make any sense for her to retire because I was actually doing some research, and on her Twitter page, she retweeted a message that New Haven posted. Winston-Salem posted the Winston-Salem tournament, and she was in it, and she's like on a billboard, and it was the week she retired. So it was very odd to see her retire so abruptly. It was very, very strange to see her retire abruptly. But I mean, good luck to her in retirement. She might come back. No one stays retired forever in a sense. It seems like Martina Hingis is supposedly coming back. So who knows if she's going to stay retired, whatever. Other women's news, real quick, before I move on. Agnieszka Radwanska from Poland, she had to actually withdraw from the tournament. Her grandfather passed away. She had to go to Poland for the funeral, so definitely thoughts and prayers are with her at that time because she's playing really well and she'll be back for the U.S. Open, but definitely not an easy thing to deal with for her. In terms of the men right now, they're in New Haven, Connecticut. They're playing there right now. That's just another last tune-up for the U.S. Open before they head to New York for that. Not a good thing for Djokovic. He really wanted to win in Cincinnati. He would have been the first player in history to win all of the ATP Masters event titles. So he didn't get that chance there. So he was gonna kind of be bummed heading into New York. But I think he's gonna play well because he's one of the best hardcore players around. Nadal looks really strong heading to the U.S. Open. He might be the clear favorite, honestly, the way he's playing. Federer is going to be very odd to see him with number 7 by his name. He's actually ranked number 7 in this tournament, and it's going to look really odd for some people to see Federer at number 7. Marty Fish, unfortunately, has to withdraw from the U.S. Open. He's still having some medical problems, and definitely well wishes for him to get healthy sometime soon. My last story, Maria Sharapova has this candy called Sugar Pova, and she wanted to change her name to Sugar Pova for the 2 weeks U.S. Open. Obviously, she was going to do that, but she said, no, I'm not going to do that now. Kind of odd that she wanted to change her name to Sugar Pova. That'd be kind of odd. She's playing a match. Advantage Sugar Pova, and I think the chair umpire probably started laughing, so that's probably a good call by her. So coming up next week is the U.S. Open. Definitely going to look forward to that.
Yeah.
Men and women, the seeding's been announced, the draws have been announced, so it should be a great tournament coming up. Looking forward to it. And when we get back, we'll wrap up headlines right after this Triple Threat Talk. Stay tuned.
Eli, who are you talking to?
I'm not talking. I'm watching football.
Watching football?
Yeah, with DirectTV NFL Sunday Ticket Max, you can watch every game every Sunday afternoon on any device, like your computer, tablet, or phone.
Football? On your phone?
Football on your phone.
It's football on your phone. It's football on your phone.
It's football on your phone, that's what I said.
It's football on your phone, you can watch it in bed.
Take it with you wherever you go.
Show your friends and watch them all go home.
It's football on your phone. It's
Yeah.
football on your phone.
It's football on your phone, so now's your chance
To have football on your phone and football in your pants.
Look at this guy using his phone as a phone.
Your phone ain't for calling,
Your phone's for footballing.
It's football on your phone. It's
Yeah.
football on your phone.
Let me ask you a question. What do you get when a football gets down with your phone?
It's football on your phone.
Yeah.
It's football on your phone.
If you're on a date with Simone,
Football on your phone.
if you're taking out a small loan,
Football on your
when
phone.
you're sitting on your throne,
Football on your phone.
when you're buttering a scone.
Football on your phone. It's like I spilled milk all over your blouse by accident or on purpose. It's like the milk is like football and your blouse is the phone.
It's football on your phone. It's
Yeah.
football on your phone.
Football on your phone means football all the time.
Do you want that?
He does, she does, our dad does.
Does your dad want it? I mean,
It's football on your phone.
yeah.
What do you think Alexander Graham Bell would say if he saw you watching football on your phone?
Who cares? Dude's dead.
It's football on your phone.
Yeah. Get NFL Sunday Ticket.
Only on DirectTV.
Yeah.
And welcome back here on the show. Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, along with my co-host Big B. Before the break, Big B was talking some tennis, and apparently he had just a little bit more he wanted to speak
I
about.
forgot to mention that Alex Johnson was on the show before. He has a new Facebook page he wants people to check out. Definitely check it out. It's a link below. The Facebook link, I believe, is facebook.com/US Tennis Baby. I believe that's it.
Babies.
But he wants to promote the sport of tennis, collegiate, challenger.
That's for babies.
I haven't seen that commercial in a hot minute.
I know.
But yeah, definitely check it out. Maybe we could have Alex on the show in the near future, talk about the U.S. Open tennis and the link as well. I'll definitely check that out.
Absolutely. So with that, we move on to NASCAR coverage this week.
Smoke is broke.
Smoke is broke, as Big B clearly stated. It was officially announced that Tony Stewart will miss the final 13 races of the season, with Mark Martin filling in for 12 of the final 13.
Is Mark Martin a proud member of the AARP?
I think so.
Okay.
So he would be good for TNA.
Yeah. Wait. How many surgeries has he had?
He's a very fit and healthy guy, and he doesn't do steroids.
How many surgeries has he had?
I don't think he's had any.
He's not, he can't.
That's true. So the only race he will not race in is at Talladega. Austin Dillon, who filled in this past weekend at Michigan.
The guy with two first names.
Yeah, the guy with two first names, and actually finished, I think, P14 this week. So good for Austin Dillon. So that's the news on Smoke. So obviously he'll be sidelined for the remainder of this season, and then he'll be back for the start of the 2014 season. But the race in Michigan this week, Joey Logano started on the pole. And he won from the pole. He picked up the win, passing Mark Martin, actually. With
I know hard to pass Mark Martin.
A couple laps to go. Mark Martin actually had to pit for gas. He was going to run out.
Running the gas.
Yeah, exactly. He was running a little low. So this week they move on to Bristol, the one of the best tracks on the circuit, and it's one of the best night races. It's the Bristol Night Race, 500 laps. 1/2 mile. The action actually gets underway, so that'll be good. In the race last year, we won't see it again this year because of the circumstances, but we saw Tony Stewart throw his helmet at somebody, and we saw Danica Patrick even threaten somebody. So the tempers will definitely flare this weekend at Bristol. So with that, we move on to NFL, and my gosh, we got a buffet table of NFL news this week.
I think the doctor's office is full. Take a number.
Yeah, if you were a doctor in the NFL, it's like, next, number 27.
Like a deli counter.
Number 27.
You have to take a number.
The Steelers' Le'Veon Bell has a Liz Frank injury.
Who's Liz Frank?
I think she's Anne Frank's distant cousin.
Okay. Anne Frank's distant cousin. LeVon, you have Anne Frank's distant cousin. What does that mean? Liz Frank. Is that really the name of it?
Yes, but it's spelled Lisfranc.
Oh, okay.
But it's still, they say Liz Frank.
Liz Frank.
He will be out up to 6 weeks. So the expected rookie starting running back for the Steelers, definitely a big blow. Big blow for the Steelers.
Big blow for
sure.
Big Ben.
Absolutely. Von Miller suspended 6 games. You know what? All I got to say about this, because it pisses me off, is if you do the crime, you got to do the time. And dude, why would you screw up a good thing? You have one of the greatest of all time as your quarterback. The team is built to win. Early, and the team is built to win now, like this year, next year, and maybe one other year. And that's it. That's it.
After Peyton leaves, it's all down.
That's it.
For the
so why would you ruin it?
Well, hey, wait a minute. After Peyton leaves, they do have Brock Osweiler.
I mean, yeah, he's only like 6'11". That guy is a monster.
He's playing basketball.
It's ridiculous. Derek Wolfe took a nasty hit, a helmet-to-helmet collision. He had to be carted off in an ambulance for possible spinal injuries, but actually, luckily, everything returned negative.
Luckily, he's okay.
Luckily, he is okay. I don't know how long he'll be out. I've heard him say he could be back for the season opener, but I'm not so sure. I imagine they'll be really cautious with him, I would imagine. Miami Dolphins' new tight end, Dustin Keller, out for the season. He blew out everything he could possibly blow
ACL, MCL, PCL.
He fractured his kneecap, I think. I mean, it was just shattered.
Yeah.
Shattered. Definitely not good stuff.
I mean, it's tough though because of the new rules with the NFL where you can't tackle high because the helmet's helmet. So the player for the Texans went low, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
Again, I get that these rules are there to protect the heads, but I agree with what Keyshawn Johnson said on NFL Live. He said, as a receiver, I'd rather be hitting the head. And
Chris Collinsworth said the same thing.
I'd rather be hitting the head and having a concussion like this for like a week, and then you hit my leg. You be out for the rest of you can't play football again. I agree.
A lot of the older guys are saying, I'd rather hit me in the head.
Yeah.
Hit me in the head.
The helmet's there for to protect you.
Yeah.
There's nothing protecting your legs.
Good news for the Houston Texans. Arian Foster was removed from the physically unable for...
Arian Stephen Foster?
Yes. Physically unable to perform list and begins practice. So that's a good sign for the Texans.
Campton ladies.
Considering they got some bad news before that.
Duda.
Antonio Smith was suspended the final 2 preseason games, which he's probably clapping about that. That's a vacation.
Well, not really. He spent the first regular season.
Yeah, and the first regular season game for swinging his helmet at an opponent.
Yeah, what happened was there's a play, the Dolphins playing the Texans, and he ripped the helmet off the guy and threw it at him. So
he plans to appeal, but I don't think he's going to win. Just take it. It's one game, and you should be happy you're missing a preseason. I mean, come on. Watching a preseason football game is like watching Ryback in a wrestling match.
What are you doing? Pick that up. What are you doing? Wake up.
And finally on the list of injuries and transactions, and Kurt Big B's second cousin sprained his right foot in the preseason game on Monday night against the Steelers.
Second cousin twice removed.
So now they're not playing Robert Griffin III.
No.
Robert Griffin III.
Show's going downhill.
Fast, with no end in sight.
Nope.
Kirk Cousins is now out. So they have left herself with Rex
Gross Eggman,
who may very well know.
He played well on Monday.
But again, as I tell you all the time, it's preseason, fella. Preseason.
He did lead the Bears to the Super Bowl. They didn't win, but they got there.
Well, no, they didn't win. Of course they didn't.
They played Maine Panning.
That's right.
And the Colts.
And they even had a head start. Devin Hester scored the touchdown the first 20 seconds of the game.
That's what Devin Hester does.
Exactly. So, a lot of injuries and suspensions and a lot of stuff going on with the NFL. We got 2 more weeks of preseason, and then finally, as the Rock.
Finally.
Thursday night, it'll be the Ravens and the Broncos kicking things off. Watch it, fella. In just a little over 2 weeks. Matter of fact, be 2 weeks from tonight. Yes. 2 weeks from tonight. So look for the Triple Threat Talk football special.
Soon.
If you were here locally, you would have the Triple Threat football special tonight.
Hopefully.
Or actually last night.
Hopefully.
Yeah, there was a bit of a snafu
last week. But back to preseason just real quick. Seattle does play Green Bay on Friday on CBS. So that's pretty sure. What?
Preseason, fella.
Still watch.
So with that wraps up headlines this week.
Headlines.
A lot of stuff to get to, but we got it to you quick and easy.
Blurred lines.
Just how we like it. Yeah. So with that, let's move on to wrestling coverage this week. And what better way to start it off with our good pal, Brian Cannon, with this week's edition of OV Mania. Take it away, Mr. Cannon.
Hey everyone, Brian Cannon here once again for another edition of OVW Mania on Triple Threat Talk for episode 112. First thing I'm going to start out talking about this week is the Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine. Every year they put out a PWI 500, the top 500 wrestlers in the world. It's their own rankings, and many of OVW superstars found their way onto the list this year. Some of the current ones include Paradise at 441, Rudy Switchblade at 329, Johnny Spade at 314, Chris Silvio at 306, Flash Flanagan at 264, Jesse Goddard at 228, Rockstar Spud at 212, Jay Bradley at 185, Rob Terry at 158, and unless I missed anybody, the top OVW superstar on the list coming in at number 142 was the current OVW heavyweight champion, Jamin Olivencia. And it was a big jump from last year because last year he only came in at 454. So he raised over 300 spots this year. He's been having a fantastic year. He's one of those guys that, I've been saying for a while, WWE, TNA, somebody needs to pick this guy up. Even though we've been seeing him down here in OVW, I think he's got just an incredible, he's just an incredible talent, has an incredible work ethic, and I think he could be a top star in one of these companies. Just look, he might not be the tallest or biggest guy, but just look at Daniel Bryan right now in WWE, and the major push he's getting, and all the fan support that he's getting. I think Jamin could be a guy like that if given the chance, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. The next thing on the agenda is to talk about last week's episode, which was taped on Wednesday, July 14th. It was number 730, and of course is available for viewing on blip.tv and ovwrestling.com. And of course you can view it locally here in Louisville on Ion TV, WBNA 21, only the local Louisville affiliate. But the show started off, Randy Royal found out he was suspended for his actions the previous week, after attacking Tony Gunn with a steel chair. The first match of the evening, Flash Flanagan was able to successfully defend the TV title against Rudy Switchblade thanks to help from the Marauders. After the match, the Marauders said they're still looking for more recruits. Nick Dumeyer answered the call and said that he wanted to be a part of the Marauders, that he could help them win and they could help him win too. And they ended up beating him up. They said they're still looking, and Muhammad Ali Vaez and Michael Hayes came out and they said they don't want to join them, they just want to beat them up because they cost them their chance at the Nightmare Cup last week. And the VIP club came out also, and they actually agreed with Ali and Hayes and said, look, you cost us too. So referee Chris Sharp actually ran out and said he got word from the back that they were going to have a 3-way tag as the main event, and the winners would advance in the Nightmare Cup. In the back, we see that the body guy is offering 4M Mr. Marvelous Melvin Maximus an opportunity to team with him for the Nightmare Cup. But he said mainly what he wants is just for the for 4M to watch for the mysterious masked man that attacked him on his debut last week, which 4M agrees to help him out. After last week's birthday party, this week Jamin Olivencia decided that he was going to throw an appreciation party for Jay Bradley, which Jay came out and he was really untrusting of what Jamin was up to. Jamin first showed a pic on all the monitors, really goofy looking pic of Jay Bradley that said "look ugly," and Jay said that, hey, that's not my motto. My motto is win ugly. And Jamin goes, oh, my fault. He goes, but look, I got you this nice pink tablecloth and a unicorn pinata because I know you like those things, which of course Jay didn't. And then finally he said, well, I know you're really going to like this one, and he got a broomstick, and it actually had a shoulder pad on the broomstick, which was pretty funny. And he brought out a couple girls. One of them was lovely Lila, and Lila whispered in his ear, no, it's a boomstick. And even Jay said, yeah, it's a boomstick. You should know that because I've hit you with it so many times. But Jamin apologized and said, oh, it's my fault. He goes, bud, he goes, I know you're a big guy, you like sweets, and look, I've got these pies here. Which, of course, Jay Bradley got pied last week. So Jay grabs one, Jamin grabs one, and they chase each other around the announce table. And Lila ends up getting trapped behind Jay Bradley, and Jay ducks, and Jamin ends up hitting Lila in the face with a pie. But then Jamin gets Jay Bradley as well with a pie, and then hits him over the head with a pinata, and celebrates in the ring. Dean Hill was out next. He called out all the ladies of OVW and told them that over the next several weeks leading up to not the September, but the October SNS, so this will be going on for another 5 or 6 weeks until we get to October's SNS. They're going to be doing a Miss OVW contest. They're going to have a lot of different challenges. It said anything from a tug of war to a bikini contest could be involved. And the winner will be crowned Miss OVW. Which Trina said that that's fine and all, but she had business with Lady Tapa. All the ladies end up pushing and shoving after Taylor Hendricks grabs a mic and says that she knows she'll be Miss OVW. And in the end, Trina hits Lady Tapa with the DDT and sends a message to her that she's not afraid of her. As all this is going on, Jesse Goddard comes to the ring and says, Dean Hill, this is your last chance to forfeit the match tonight. I'm giving you a warning now that you don't want to fight me. But Dean Hill says, look, I'm coming back later tonight and I'm going to kick your butt. The next match was supposed to be Body Guy and 4M as the team against Lambda. And the Body Guy has Mr. Marvelous stand by the curtain to watch for the assassin. The assassin's music hits, but he comes out of the opposite curtain with the Body Guy and 4M's backs turned. He gets in the ring, takes out the Body Guy with a big clothesline once again. But 4M says, no, don't stop the match. He goes, I'll fight Lambda in a handicap match. And the Baxters, Albert and Stefan, end up getting the victory. And it was a Nightmare Cup qualifying match, so they are actually advancing in the Nightmare Cup. Jesse is back out in his bunny suit. He keeps saying, Dean, you don't want to do this. You don't want to get up. You don't want to take your jacket off. You don't want to get in this ring, which, Dean Hill just calmly does all that. And as Dean takes off his jacket, hands it to the referee, the referee is putting his jacket out of the ring. Dean quickly low blows Jesse, and the referee turns around and sees Jesse down. Dean takes the pin, 1, 2, 3, and just like that, that match was over. So Dean Hill got some retribution on Jesse Goddard, and Jesse is still on this big losing streak and still must stay in the bunny suit until he can ever get a win. Then the main event of the evening was that three-way tag, which was also a Nightmare Cup qualifier. It was Michael Hayes and Muhammad Ali Baez picking up a victory over both the Marauders and the VIP Club. And don't forget, as always, you can read more details as well as the dark match results, my top 20 that I put out every week, and any other breaking news. Right now, by the time you read this, I'll also have the story up on all of the OVW representatives. In this year's PWI 500, I've got the current stars, I've got some former stars that have been in OVW before, and then I've got a lot of alumni, everyone from this year's number 1, John Cena, to Randy Orton, Mr. Anderson, CM Punk, and so on and so forth, that have been in OVW and are now they're alumni. They're either in WWE, TNA, even ROH. I know Cliff Compton is on the list as well. So you can check that out all at ovwmania.blogspot.com. I'm going to take a short break and I'll be right back.
Here we are. The world is ours. From the black to blue to fall. Woo, woo, rain is gone.
OVW Mania would like to send happy birthdays this week to Pam Barnett. She takes the great pictures that you see on OVW's website. She has her own Facebook page. You can follow her there. Her birthday was on August 18th. Former Femme Fatale Epiphany's birthday on August 20th. And wrestling's rock star Ryan Howe. Happy birthday to him on August 23rd. Alright, don't forget that there's a few big events coming up in OVW. The next one is on Friday, August 23rd. It's called No Holds Barred. That's the night that Danny Davis, Rip Rogers, Trailer Park Trash are going to be coming out and talking about stories from their careers, anything from in the ring to backstage, outside the ring, road stories. Don't forget that it is only an 18 and over show because it could have some explicit language and content that they're talking about. So don't plan on taking the kids. Not a family event by any stretch, but it should be interesting. That's Friday, August 23rd. The next edition of Old School is on September 1st, and then the next SNS comes your way on September 7th. Don't forget that you can check out older episodes of either SNS or Old School on demand at wwnlive.com or ovwrestling.com. They actually have a tab now that says on demand. Right now you can go back and watch July's Saturday Night Special and the August edition of the premiere edition of Old School. Don't forget to follow my good friend and senior official of OVW, referee Chris Sharp, at Ref Chris Sharp. A lot of times he'll have results from the live events. Usually my reports are on the Wednesday night shows, the Saturday night specials. I did do one for Old School, even though it wasn't detailed. It was just I was there. I had the results for it, and occasionally I get out to the Derby Park shows as well. But some of the other ones, whether it's out in E-Town or if they go up, I know they go somewhere up towards Cincinnati. Those I usually don't get to, and he usually has the results for those. He also has the great podcast, his wrestling podcast that only kind of has to do with wrestling. They're usually about an hour long. He always has great guests on there. And we're talking about a guy that if they had a PWI referee 500, he should definitely be number one. And then a little bit of news coming out of the last Homecoming show. I believe Nick Dinsmore is heading down to Orlando. He's no longer going to be with OVW training. It sounds like he's going to be probably training at the new WWE Performance Center. If I had, I didn't make the Homecoming show, but I think that's what I heard from my sources at the arena last Sunday. So congratulations to Nick. He will be missed, of course, in OVW, but he'll be training more superstars of tomorrow. Just won't be around here. Matt Capitelli will actually be taking over the beginners program here. So it's not that the OVW trainees are not going to be in good hands anymore, because Matt Capitelli was a great wrestler. He had the brain tumor where he couldn't compete anymore, but he knows his way around the ring. He's a great guy, so I know that he'll be able to train the new superstars of tomorrow. And I think that's pretty much all we've got for tonight. So I'm going to send it back to the studio. Have a great day, and I will see you all again next week.
Good stuff as always.
Yep. Very insightful.
Definitely want to send a quick congratulations out to Mr. Jamin Olivencia. The PWI Pro Wrestling Illustrated actually released their top 500 wrestlers of the year, and Jamin was number, I believe, 142. So definitely congratulations to Jamin for that. Come on, he definitely deserves it. He's one of my favorites in OVW, and I think he can maximize his potential by making a trip down south.
Could be.
Not Elvis Primore's down south. But
Oh, you mean to Memphis, Tennessee?
No, I mean to Florida.
Oh, you want him to go to TNA?
No. They're not in Florida anymore. They've moved around.
So, where are you talking?
Orlando. Performance.
Oh, you want? You want him to be a bellboy on the Tower of Terror ride at Hollywood Studios in Disney World?
You know, that's not what I thought you were going to go with. I thought you were going to say what character you wanted to play. Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Donald, Pluto.
I can see him as Pluto.
But that works. No kidding aside, definitely congratulations. That's a big honor for Janet to make the top 150.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a huge deal.
So thanks to everybody at OVW for all their continuous hard work. Thanks again to Terry and Cheryl Bodie for helping us out behind the scenes. He's currently on a leave of absence from OVW. He's on bigger and better things, so be on the lookout with that through our website, www.triplethreattalk.com or www.thefanadvocate.com, and check out all the big and better things that the Bodies are working on. So with that, we move on to SummerSlam. So Big B.
Yes.
We get a pre-show match.
Didn't really end.
Shield interferes. No surprise there. Dean Ambrose interferes, retains thanks to the interference of the Shield. Mm-hmm. So then SummerSlam kicks off with the Ring of Fire match.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, no.
He wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there.
No.
He's dead.
He was there in the spirit.
Yeah. I must say, even though I was happy with the outcome, I was disappointed in the way it went about.
How so?
Well, the Ring of Fire is supposed to be able to keep people out, but somehow the two other members of the Wyatt family found themselves dressed as firefighters.
So they put the tarp
and got through the fire and came in and helped Bray Wyatt win. And they cut Kane's head off with the steel steps.
Yeah,
and they carried him out on their shoulder.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But good win for Bray Wyatt, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good win for him.
Seeing him being pushed, that's a huge win for him.
I just wish they would use the fire a little more.
Yeah, they haven't done that in a while. The last coming for a match, it was a pin, so who knows.
Yeah, I'm like, use the fire. It's what it's there for. Brock Lesnar and CM Punk.
That was a good match.
As much as I hate to admit it, because I hate Brock Lesnar.
That was one of the best matches of the night.
It was a good match. I think they used Paul Heyman a little too much.
Yeah.
Because even though Lesnar won, that made him look a little weak by using Heyman's help so much.
Yeah.
I mean, would you think?
Yeah, I guess. But, I mean, in the same time, that's what he was there for.
True. Christian in a valiant effort.
Good match. Very good match.
It was a really good match, but Del Rio did win in the end.
Viva Del Rio.
No surprise there. Some other matches of note.
Cody and Damien.
Cody wins again.
I don't get this at all.
And Damien Sandow continues to lose. Ever since he's won, I think you mentioned it at dinner, that ever since he's won this briefcase, he hasn't won a match. And I think you're right.
Single match since he's won the briefcase.
That's ridiculous.
None.
It's ridiculous.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
It baffles the mind.
It's the main event of the evening. Outstanding. Very outstanding.
Very controversial.
I'll say this. If you give John Cena somebody who can actually wrestle,
Daniel Bryan.
Yes, Daniel Bryan. Punk.
Ziggler. Jericho.
He steps his game up. And he can wrestle almost as good as they can. Not quite.
Well, not better.
But not better. No. But almost.
He can keep the pace.
He can keep up with the pace, and he can do, a good job of.
Yeah.
And wow, what a match! Yeah. Daniel Bryan picks up the win with a knee to the face, which I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess they didn't want to tap out.
Well, it's a basic kind of move. It's nothing. So Daniel Bryan, he gets the confetti and the fireworks, and then
dun
dun dun.
I hear voices.
I hear voices in my head that make me want to go to bed, and they put me to sleep.
What the heck was that?
David Sandow.
That's not it.
Well, that's close.
Right, no, it's not.
But anyway, so Orton comes down, he flashes his briefcase like he's going to cash in, he turns and walks away, and then the swerve. Pedigree by Triple H. Orton rolls in the ring, hands Triple H the briefcase. 1, 2, 3, new champion, Randy Orton. And just like that, things are changing. And when we get back, we'll wrap up wrestling, get into our wild card, and wrap up the show right after this. Stay tuned. Triple Threat Talk. Postmaster Jones and Big B. Don't go anywhere.
The 80s. Upon playing Madden for the first time, Darian Foster and Marshawn Lynch Sr. start an epic rivalry that will shape football in the modern era. They realize if they raise sons to be elite NFL running backs, they can use them to school each other in Madden. A unique and highly unorthodox conditioning program.
Hey, you don't scratch my car!
Becomes the crux of their training.
Run that bear over! That's that beast mode right there. Hey, push it out. No pain, no man.
Today, the sons have become the offensive threats of their father's dreams, spinning and juking their way to Madden domination.
He might have learned that from my son. He ain't learned nothing from your son.
A season 25 years in the making. Madden NFL 25. Rated E for everyone.
EA Sports. It's in the can. Official game console of the NFL.
IWU Louisville knows business. Not only did I earn my graduate degree, but I experienced a well-rounded education that benefits me my entire life.
The enrollment experience here is fantastic. They fit it around my schedule. They know I'm working. They know I have a family. They really took an interest in my goals here at IWU. IWU knows business.
Indiana Wesleyan University, Louisville. Change your life, change your work.
And welcome back right here on Triple Threat Talk. I am Big B Brandon here alongside Postmaster Joe and Jimmy Biggers. The doctor, Gary, the cowboy Lockard, is absent this week.
He is absent. Unfortunately. Not really. But I guess maybe. So continuing our discussion over the ending of the main event, what was your take on it?
At first, again, we all said this in the show. So it wasn't any mystery to us. But it was weird the way they did it because they kept prolonging it. Because first Brian wins, and then you figure what happened right immediately after that, and then they waited.
Then they did confetti and
pyro, all that stuff, and you're like, "Is this really how it's going to end?" And I was like, "It's over." And then I was like, "Oh, okay, here we go." As much as I was kind of wanting Brian to get his moment in the sun, which he kind of did, it's not what I expected them to do with Orton. I thought Orton was going to do something, more heelish, like kick him in the head or something like that.
Right.
And I didn't know which involvement was going to. I had any feeling he was going to be involved some way because he was the ref.
Right.
But overall, I was pleased with it. Obviously because obviously what happened, and we'll transition here to Raw. Obviously, it plays into what's going on now because John Cena is out with an injury. He's going to be about 4 to 6 months, and now the feud shifts for the fall while he's gone is to Orton and Bryan. So.
Mm-hmm. And Noel Cena's not out with a Liz Frank injury. He's out with
Frank.
He is out with he had surgery on his elbow.
Like a golf ball attached to his elbow.
Oh my goodness! And he tweeted a picture today. That cast is humongous.
Like a mummy.
He did look like a mummy. My gosh. Raw. Not a whole lot happened. I mean, a little bit.
Cody wins again.
Again against Sandow. Again.
Again, the commentators aren't in charge, but they brought up a good point. JBL said if Cody wins this match, she'd be considered #1 contender. He won. He's definitely in the discussion. I was telling him at dinner, I said, I think in Night of Champions you could possibly see Del Rio defend against RVD, Christian, Del Rio defends against Christian, RVD, Cody, and Sandow. That could possibly be a match at Night of Champions. So I think Cody's proven he deserves to be on the spot he's in. I think he should have won Money in the Bank. It would have made more sense that way because he's won everything that's possibly he can win besides the World Title. He's won the Intercontinental title multiple times. He's been multiple-time tag team champion.
Tag team champ of the world.
Thank you, Jesse James. Sandow winning doesn't make any sense because he hasn't won anything.
I agree.
Yet
it doesn't make any sense. I think he's right, and I think JBL was right that Cody Rhodes deserves a shot at the title. I mean, he's beat the Money in the Bank winner 4 or 5 times in a row now, something crazy like that. It's insane. And then RVD has a new partner in crime.
Ricardo
Rodriguez is now backing RVD, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes. You got.
Speaking of Del Rio,
yes,
he fights Sin Cara on Raw, which baffled me from the beginning. The match lasted about
a minute.
Not even that.
No.
Sin Cara goes outside, hits his hand on the ground. No one knows what's going on. People are like, is it a concussion? We don't know what's going on. He dislocated a finger.
He has the ref stop the match.
WWE wasn't happy. They were angry.
It wasn't very smart on his part, by no means. I mean, John Cena wrestled with a freaking golf ball elbow.
Yeah, really. Look at that thing.
That thing.
Actually, don't look at it.
No, don't look at it. It was disgusting. But
looks like a softball.
My finger, it hurt.
Alright, thank you for watching the show. If you want to like us on Facebook, since he has to stop the show because of the finger, right?
Yeah, that's right. We gotta stop. I can't talk anymore. My finger's killing me.
I agree.
We gotta go to the doctor immediately.
Not the doctor.
Not the doctor, but the doctor.
A doctor.
Yeah, a doctor.
Yeah, anyway,
so that wrestling. Then you had Daniel Bryan come out at the end. You had all the superstars at the top of the ramp. Orton comes out. They're in the ring talking. Vince and Stephanie. I will say it was great that Daniel Bryan called Stephanie trash. That was hilarious.
Like once you sleep with trash, you start to stink.
Yeah.
Stink.
Yeah. And then he also in no way, shape, or form, but basically called her a B word, which was quite.
Well, she said he was a solid B+.
No, but he called her.
I know. I'm saying she called him a solid B+.
Yeah, I know.
Solid B+.
Solid B+, which was ridiculous because he's definitely an A for sure. And the fact that, I mean, I don't know where this angle is going to go, but he originally gets taken out of the arena by security. No, not Triple Threat Talk security. He wasn't there. It was another security.
The Shield.
But he somehow finds his way back in the arena. Big surprise. And he comes down to the ring and gets attacked by the Shield. And Triple H is like, "Wait a minute, guys! Wait a minute! Let him in!"
And he's being kind of saying, he's like, "Come on, you can do it! Come on,
you can do it!" And right as he got ready to crawl in,
RKO.
Boom! RKO.
Someone tweeted something really funny about Daniel Bryan because with people that get ejected from the arena, like Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, they come back in the truck and Steve sprayed beer. Kurt Angle threw milk. Someone said, "What if Daniel Bryan do a vegan truck and started throwing tomatoes?"
That's a good one. I like that. Shooting like a potato gun or a tomato gun.
Yes!
That'd be good. That'd be great.
What the heck? Tomato juice.
So like Big B said, it'll be interesting to see how the feud of the fall goes. We got Night of Champions in the middle of September.
And then Battleground.
After that.
That'll be different.
And then it'll be Survivor Series after that. So before you know it, they'll be back on the road to WrestleMania, which they'll probably already start building that up real soon.
Yeah, I would see some things.
They don't waste a lot of time with that.
2 other things from Raw I wanted to mention. One, obviously the Darren Young thing I mentioned. Again, I can't reiterate how great I thought that was for him to get the huge reaction he did. And then I kept mentioning in the beginning, I thought the Ryback thing was funny.
How can you like that?
What are you doing? Put it down.
Open that bag.
Pick it up. Throw it over there. Open it up. Turn the shower on. What are you doing? Put that down.
What are you doing? Are you doing the show? The Wyatt family annihilates R-Truth.
Huh?
The Wyatt family annihilated R-Truth.
I will lead you to salvation, and I'll tell you everything is going to be alright.
I'll play with these fools like puppets. Follow the buzzer.
I'm telling you right now, there'll be an episode of the show hopefully soon, we'll all three of us be wearing the goat masks.
Yes. Yes.
The whole show. I'm telling you.
So with that's wrestling this week. Good stuff.
Sport of wrestling.
Wrestling they continue. We're about to wrap up August. That's 8 months in a row, non-stop. It's room. It keeps going.
And TNA is kind of like.
TNA's like way back there.
Nowhere to be found.
TNA's way back there. WWE's way over there. What?
Tito Ortiz. He needs a minute.
I don't get it. So with that, I guess we move on to the wild card segment.
Do you have one?
I'm going to tune in with you because I enjoy this just as much as you do.
I actually didn't see this one on Wednesday. I'm going to watch it when Sports Center re-airs. Sports Center is on 24 hours a day. It seems like. So they re-air it. But Sports Center does this thing and with Make-A-Wish, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, to grant these kids like special wishes. It's called My Wish, and they put a song from Rascal Flatts. If you haven't heard, it's called My Wish. It's actually a pretty good song for Rascal Flatts. So they have a My Wish segment, and then these kids, obviously, I can't remember all the things they've gone through, but they've gone through certain things in their life, and they get one special wish granted to them. So the My Wish segments they have are this kid named Kevin Lee. He got granted a wish by the Seattle Seahawks. He signed a 5-year contract. He wanted. Thank you. All right. That's the song.
I was letting them know if they hadn't heard it.
Okay, good.
See?
Good on you. But Kevin Lane was signed a 5-year deal with Seattle. He wanted 6 years. And also he said, I guarantee you one thing, there will be a Super Bowl this year. Well, Kevin...
I hate to disappoint the My Wish fella.
What?
But there won't be a Super Bowl in Seattle this year.
He didn't... Now, see, here's where you're wrong. He didn't say there will be a Super Bowl for Seattle. He just said there will be a Super Bowl this year. Well, of course there will be a Super Bowl this year. It could be Cleveland versus It could be Cleveland versus the Giants. No one knows.
No, it won't be Cleveland.
Well, just saying. Anyway.
It won't be Cleveland.
But he said there
nobody.
But he said there will be a Super Bowl, and obviously the expectations for Seattle are very high this year. Absolutely. But great. And Gary actually commented on it. He called me about it, and he said he's not a Seahawks fan, obviously not. But he said Seattle went above and beyond. They really did. Now, I mean, not only did the kid make a wish, he got to be with the team and all that stuff, but he got to meet his dad. He hasn't seen him in a long time. His family's divorced, and he got to see his dad for his wish. That was a thing I think made his wish really a lot better for him.
Right.
So that was one that got me kind of choked up. That was a good one. Kyle Bird, that was depressing to look at. The kid was in a wheelchair, and that was upsetting. When he got to do the thing with the Arizona Diamondbacks, that was a good one. Lateef Brock got to meet the Washington Redskins RG3. He did the same thing. He signed a contract kind of thing, and that was pretty neat too. Riley Durham, one you probably would have liked to see.
I saw it.
Okay, Casey Kane,
yeah,
favorite NASCAR driver. She got to.
That was really good.
Got to do a lot of things.
She got to do a ton of stuff with him. Yeah. That was outstanding.
And the one that was the last one was not. If I can't pronounce the name, I apologize. I believe her name is Beatrice Tinoco.
We talked about that one
before on this public access show. We actually talked about and Federer went above and beyond for that one. I'll definitely have to check that out and see the full extent of that one because the Make-A-Wish thing is great, and this My Wish thing is a great segment, and just the way these people go above and beyond. Like Federer, from what I read, and obviously I'll see, he went really above and beyond, and Seattle did too. I thought those two are probably going to be one of the best ones of this thing because, again, they could do whatever they could do, just the bare minimum, but they Russell Wilson went to lunch with them, and they signed him to a contract. They put him in the Hall of Fame from the Seahawks in the building. Yeah, and all the team. It's not just Russell. The whole team was accommodating to him.
Yeah, they all were. Pete Carroll, all of them.
Yeah, and it's a great thing the Make-A-Wish does, and these kids definitely deserve it because they've been through a lot.
Yeah, it's always good to see, and it always seems to choke you up when you watch it because you see all the struggles and heartbreak and issues that they have to overcome and that they're still battling and the adversity that they face.
They've gone through so much, and then they don't know if they're going to live or die another day. And this is what they want. This is the wish they want, and they get it. And it's the overall jubilation that they receive from it is definitely deserved. So
I would like to see. I don't know if they would ever do it because. Not sure, but I would love for ESPN to maybe showcase somebody getting to meet John Cena. I would like to because he is the most.
Yeah, he is.
He's granted the most wishes out of anybody in the history of Make-A-Wish. Right. I think in this segment they should figure out a way to feature him.
Yeah,
I think it'd be good to show.
I mean, you want to talk about above and beyond? Cena goes above and beyond.
He brought him out in the middle of Raw for Pete's sake.
I mean, he's granted over 400 more than anybody.
It was insane how many he's granted.
I mean, it's crazy in the history of this. It's been
around since
Yeah, in the history of the organization of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, no one's granted more wishes than John Cena. He's granted over 400. That's ridiculous. It's just like people just want to meet the guy, and it's crazy that he grants that many. I mean, I couldn't even imagine how many he grants like a year.
I don't know.
It's crazy. He definitely. I mean, he's a stand-up guy for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you don't like him as a wrestler, I guarantee most people like him as a person.
Yeah, if you don't like him as a wrestler, you should like him as a person because he's one of the most giving and caring people I've ever seen.
Cena seems like the guy that if he was in the airport 2 o'clock in the morning, asked for an autograph, he'd say, "Sure, no problem."
Yeah, probably so.
Unless you were mean to him, but I don't think Cena's like that. I really do. I think Cena's. He knows where he's at. He knows how hard he worked to get there, and he's really humble. And he wants to. You know what? I got here, and these people want to get my. I deserve.
Right.
This they want this. So.
All right.
Any of the week?
I guess since he's not here.
He's not here.
And his excuse for not being here is a little on the lame side.
I don't know what the excuse was. So.
Is it? Well, I'll tell you what his excuse is. He claims, because I couldn't get it verified. I tried. But he wasn't there. No. Is that he was supposedly helping out at the Kroger booth at the state fair. So he would rather work the Kroger booth at the state fair? Really, Doc? So Doc, you know what that deserves you? Sorry, buddy. Episode 112's Idiot of the Week.
Sorry, buddy. But that does it for the show this week. Good show. Short and sweet. Well, not short, but not really short, is it? But that does it. If you want to like us on Facebook, like Dean Hill.
Hey, Dean Hill, thanks for the like, buddy. We appreciate it.
Click that like button at facebook.com/triplethreattalk. You can follow us on Twitter @triplethreattalk. We're actually going to be live tweeting every Monday now for Raw, so definitely interact with us there at triplethreattalk on Twitter. It says any comment or question you have at triplethreattalk@yahoo.com. Of course, your blogs. Visit our website, triplethreattalk.com, for all this information we post. That's it for this week. This is Big B.
This is Postmaster Jones reminding everybody to don't text and drive because it's a dangerous thing.
PSA announcement here. This is Big B signing off, and once again, enjoy this week in TV, Newsroom, Breaking Bad, and other things that are on.
Let's not forget, it's almost time for Boardwalk Empire. Yes.
3 weeks.
Yes.
I think, no, 2 weeks.
Yes. It's going to be good. See you guys next week.
See you, everybody. Who is Liz Frank? Who is this?
I don't know.